Good evening, everyone. We'll be learning Tanya chapter 52. Still holding Likutei Amorim, the first part of Tanya. Before I start with Tanya, bless you, I would like to share with you halacha connected with Shabbos, the laws of Shabbos. And the halacha speaks about what can we use, which type of say accessories or cleaning products that we can or cannot use on Shabbos. So a sponge that has a handle can be used on Shabbos because there is less of a concern that you might squeeze it and get the water out of it. Sponge that does not have a handle should not be used on Shabbos. Because there is a concern that for sure you will be, maybe it's not even a concern, it's more of a certainty that you will be squeezing out the sponge. This type of a sponge, you're allowed to, I don't know if you say cleaning with it, but more of like wiping something with it. But since it has a handle, there is you're allowed to use it because it's not your intention to squeeze it. But sponge that does not have a handle, you should not be wiping with it because for sure you are going to squeeze with it. Steel wool you should not be using on Shabbos because of two issues: schita, which is squeezing, and number two is kibus. Kibus is laundering, so you might be violating two violations, two prohibitions: squeezing and laundering. So we're not allowed to use steel wool on Shabbos. Third is synthetic, like wipes that are made out of synthetic materials, and they are absorbent. They are absorbing water. They are not. You should not be using. It's forbidden to use them on Shabbos because of schita, of squeezing. Some say that it should not be used because of kibus, because of laundering. Then we have the rubber. Rubber is a different story. Like rubber gloves are not absorbent. They're not absorbing water. There's no concern of squeezing. So if it's something that's made out of plastic and it has big holes, and you know that, or if it even if it has like a brush type of it's a brush like, but it's hairs, or it's those synthetic products that are protruding from it are not close to each other, then you're allowed to use it on Shabbos. A brush that is made out of synthetic materials, if it has a handle and there is no certainty that by using it you're going to squeeze out water, it's permitted on Shabbos. If it does not have a handle and the hairs are congested or crowded, then you should not be using it. If they're not very close to each other, the hairs of the brush, you would be allowed to use it. It's permitted. If it's too crowded, you should not use it. So, and then there's a brush made out of hair. It says it's considered like hair, that you should be using it on Shabbos because of a concern that you might come to squeeze it. So there are about 6 different kinds that was mentioned over here, 6 different kinds of cleaning products that are mentioned. And the rule of thumb is that if it's made out of plastic and the hairs are not close to each other, and there's a handle, there's a leniency that you can use it. If it's not, there's no handle, and the hairs are close to each other, there's more, and it's absorbent, that would be a problem of schita, of squeezing, and sometimes even of kibus, of laundering. So this is a basic concept about using these cleaning materials on Shabbos. With that, I'm going to the Tanya of the day. We're holding in tractate chapter 52. For if you follow in the Chayenu, would be on page 77. For the 26th day of Iyar. Just as in the soul-body analogy, the primary potency of the soul power is manifest through the mind, flowing from there to the body, so too godliness is revealed in every realm via the divine mind, and will namely, via the divine mind and will, namely Torah and mitzvahs, flowing from there onward. The revelation is termed Shekhinah. Chapter 52. The flow. In the previous chapter, the Alter Rebbe began to expound upon the theme of the indwelling of the Shekhinah, which resided in the Holy of Holies and likewise in other places. He asked, is it not the whole world filled with His glory? Meloi kol haaretz kevoidoi. Since there is no place void of Him, what do we mean when we say that God chose a specific place for the Shekhinah to rest? So, in other words, you're saying that Shekhinah is not resting in other places, only in the Holy of Holies? He explained this according to the text, Mibsori echzeh leika. From my flesh, I see God. Pasuk in Iyov, Book of Job. Using the analogy of the soul, which pervades all the 248 organs, 248 organs of the body, yet its principal habitation is in the brain. This cannot be said to apply to the soul's essence, for that is found equally in all 248 organs. The soul essence is equally in all 248 organs, from the highest, the brain, to the lowest, in the feet. Rather, this refers to the general flow of the soul's vitality into the body and its revelation there before it is diffused and drawn down into all the bodily organs, each according to its particular capacity. Concerning this general aspect, we say that its principal province and indwelling is in the brain. From there, a mere glimmer of this vitality is drawn down and revealed in other bodily organs. The same is true, the Alter Rebbe explains, it is the analog of godliness and the world. The core and essence of the Ein Sof is the same in the higher and lower world. He is concealed from them all equally. He is concealed from them all equally. For even in the higher world, no thought can apprehend them at all. At the same time, He is equally to be found both in the higher and lower worlds. The difference between the higher and lower worlds, as in the analogy of the bodily organs, subsists. Right, Shmuel?
Yes, subsists.
Subsists only with regard to the stream of vitality which flows and is revealed from the Ein Sof in order to create and vitalize the worlds and their creatures. Concerning this level of revelation, we say that in the higher worlds, godliness is revealed to a greater degree, and in the lower worlds to a lesser degree. That's the difference between the higher worlds and the lower worlds. In the present chapter, chapter 52, the Alter Rebbe goes on to further explains how the analog of godliness and its place in the world relates to the analogy in which the individual's vitality in its undiffused state reside in the brain. And just as in the human soul, the principal manifestation of the undiffused vitality is in the brain, while all the organs receive merely a light and potency which radiates to them from the source of the manifestation of the said vitality in the brain. Kacho mamosh al derech moshel ikar gilui klos hamshochas hachayus. Ach yosei lomes v'abuim sheboim umelubosh v'nichlal b'rtzoinu v'chochmosei uvinosei v'daisei zborech hanikoim b'shemeichin. So indeed, figuratively speaking, is the essential manifestation of the general stream of vitality, animating the worlds and the creatures therein, closed and contained in his blessed will. Wisdom, understanding, and knowledge, which are called the intelligence. And these will, Rotzin, will, Chochma, Bina, and Das, wisdom, understanding, and knowledge, are closed in the Torah and its mitzvahs, V'gilu klosam shochazu, and the manifestation of this general flow of life, which is similar to the undiffused stream of vitality found in the brain, takes place, as the Alter Rebbe will soon say, when the flow from the intelligence descends into the Sephirah of Malchus, from wisdom all the way down to sovereignty. This manifestation is the source of the vitality. U'mekoir hachayus, asher oilomis mekablim kol echod bifrotus, ra ke'ora mispashetes u'meiro mimoker zeh, is the source of the vitality which the worlds receive, each one in particular receiving but a diffused glow that shines forth from this source. This refers not to the general stream of vitality found in the intelligence, but to its revelation. This revelation is the source of the vitality received by all worlds and their creatures, each according to its particular level. The diffused glow that shines forth is Kedimyein Eira Mispashet Me'ashemesh Al Derech Moshol V'chois Evorei or Evrei Haguf Ma'ameach HaNizkar, in a similar manner to the light that radiates from the sun. By way of example, where the rays are but a diffused glimmer of the sun's essence, or as the faculties of the organs of the body derive from the brain, as discussed above in the previous chapter. It is this source, the source being a revelation from the general stream of vitality, found within intelligence, within Chokhmah, which is called in the Kabbalah the world of manifestation. Because as the Alter Rebbe will soon say, it is here that godliness first become manifest in the world. Matrunisa, and it is also called Matrunisa, which is Aramaic for queen. For the queen receives her vitality from Kutchabrichu, which is Aramaic for the Holy One, blessed be He, the King. Ve'i Matato, and it is also known as the nether mother, the lower level of mother for Bina. For Bina too is known as mother, as the verse says, allude to Bina as mother. Eim habonim smecho. Bina, however, is the higher level of mother, while Malchus is the nether mother. Ushchina miloshem v'shochanti b'seichom, and is called the Shechina from the scriptural phrase, and I will dwell among them. For its Hebrew root means to dwell. Shechina means to dwell and be revealed. As the Alter Rebbe explains, the Alter Rebbe now goes on to explain the meaning and character of each of the above listed names, as well as their particular effect. Al Shem Shemokir Zeu Reishis is Galus Eren Seif. The above mentioned source is called the world of manifestation. For this source is the beginning of the revelation of the light of the Ein Sof, and since the source itself constitutes a revelation, it is itself known as the world of manifestation because of its own nature, and not because it vitalizes and revealed the revealed worlds. It is called queen because it is the level which extends to illumines the worlds in a revealed manner, similar to a queen, for through the queen, the wishes of the king are revealed. From this source, Esther made Achashverosh do what she wanted.
Right, exactly.
From this source, there extends to each individual thing, world or creature, the particular light and vitality suitable for it, for which reason it is called the nether mother. For it is the mother and source of the particular form of vitality of each and every creature. And it is the light dwells and is closed in them, in the worlds and the respective creatures, thereby animating them. Since it dwells, animates, and is enclosed in every world and creature, it is called Shekhinah, which, as previously explained, means indwelling. Until now, the Alter Rebbe has clarified how the light is the source of the worlds and creatures in general. He now goes on to explain how it is also the source of Jewish souls. V'lo cheniko em habonim al derech Moshe luchnes es Yisrael shemimoker zan zu neshomes datzilus v'nivru neshomes devriya v'chul on einon rak mispashtus achos v'aor ma'amoker azan ikrashchino kispashtus ar ma'ashemesh. Therefore, it is figuratively called mother of the children of Jewish souls, i.e., of Jewish souls, and is also called community of Israel. For from this source, the souls of Atzilus have emanated, these being emanations and not creations. And the souls of Bria have been created and so forth. All of them, all the worlds, creatures, and souls being derived only from the extension of their vitality and light, which extends and streams forth from this source, which is called Shekhinah. Ki spashtus ha'or ma'ashemesh, in a manner resembling the radiation of light from the sun, this radiation being but a ray from its source. So the takeaway from today's essay: like the energy of your soul which flows first to the brain, and from there it is channeled to all limbs and sinews, the divine energy also begins with a general flow, which will eventually be contracted to create all creations. This general energy is called in Kabbalistic works Shekhinah, divine presence, mother and Knesset Yisrael, congregation of Israel. Buchim Tiyu. Shukar for watching. We will make another video shortly on the daily Parsha Insight, which can be found on page 131. Be with you shortly.